Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to use the lists of emotional and physical traits that we filled out for our characters in the previous lesson to help us design the front and the side view of our circus-inspired character. For this lesson, I'll be using my clutch pencil with the coloured lead, the sharpener, and an eraser, but if you don't have one of these, any coloured pencil will do. So at this point, I'm going back to the simple shapes that I'm going to start structuring my character with. So a circle for the head, I've drawn the ribcage area, a circle for the sort of the belly and so hip area, and I've put in circles for the shoulders, the knees, the elbows, the wrists, and I'm just sort of filling those out with flesh once I've sort of positioned where I want the arms and the legs to be. So you can see now, once I've got a basic idea of where the body parts are sitting, I can then come in with a darker line. At this point, we're just sketching whatever comes to mind, moving our pencil across the page and just jotting down any ideas. Now, if you feel like you need to change the position of the arm, it doesn't take much at this point to do just that. So I want my character to hold something, so I've decided to lower the arm a little bit. The idea is to sketch and scribble and play around with different angles and shapes and not be too precious about it. So this should be the first time we're drawing our characters, and it may take 3 or 4 goes before you get it just right. So use this time to refer back to the emotional traits and the physical traits that we did earlier. How can you physically show whether a character is adventurous or imaginative or lonely or bright or creative or self-confident? And if they are self-confident or if they're shy, how will you show this with the way your character is standing? So think about all those things while you're doing this character map. So think about the physical traits, the clothing, your character's height, their size, their build. Think about their hair, the hair color, the length, the style, any accessories that you might think will enhance your character and their story. Even their dislikes and likes might come into how they look from the front view. I'm now moving on to my character's face, starting with the eyes, which I'm going to keep quite large and doll-like, and I'm going to keep all the features quite simple. My circus girl character is quite bright, joyful, creative, and lovable, so I'm going to make a lot of her big beaming smile with quite a wide, cheeky face, with her head resting on quite narrow neck and shoulders. Her ears are quite small, and I wrote down in my physical traits that she has curly red hair, and I want this to be a feature on her. I also wrote down that she had a magician's top hat or a circus ringmaster hat, so I'm putting this in on my character sketch. So you might think of accessories, hair length, hair, is it straight, is your hair curly, is it what length is the hair, what colour is the hair. We're not working with colour at the moment, but you do want to keep this in mind while you're sketching. So going back to my list, I wrote that my character would be wearing circus costumes. So I'm thinking a mix of maybe the acrobat's costume, leotard type thing. I like the idea of stripes. They're quite bold, maybe a black and white or red and white stripe, or even sequins. And I'm thinking a little frill or some kind of skirty kind of thing around the waist of the costume. I still like the idea of her pot belly, and keeping in mind that this circus girl character is 5 years old, so she'll have the pot belly, the sway back, and the way she stands, she might even be slightly pigeon-toed, but standing with her legs straight and quite confident for a 5-year-old. So on my desk in front of me, I have some sketches that I made in a previous class called Bunnies and Books. And in one of those lessons, we drew toy rabbits after seeing and being inspired by a lot of picture books. So I'm going to use one of these toy rabbit drawings as her toy. And I think it ties in really well because she has the costumes and the magician's hat and the idea of pulling the rabbit out of the hat. So this can be her best friend, her imaginary friend, her toy rabbit, and it's nice to be able to tie in what I've done in a previous class and with this character. So just as we did in the Draw a Circus of Movement Bodyworks Part 2 class, we're going to draw a front view and a side view of our character. To help, you can download the Circus Girl Character Map PDF by going to Attached Files in the right-hand column under the My Projects tab. So here you can see that I've drawn almost a blob shape for the torso, with a larger circle for the hip area and a smaller circle showing where the shoulder socket would be. And from this, I've drawn the kneecap with the leg kicking back. So a circle for the knee and a circle for the ankle joint, and then you fill in the rest of the area with the flesh and the costume. So I'm just working around. This is a 5-year-old character, so a bit of a pop belly and a little bit of a sway back, and I'm just filling in where I think the frills would go on the costume, leotard area. I'm even bringing across guidelines for the stripes in her costume, and I'm just looking at where her elbow would reach. So again, using those guidelines and bringing that area across. Now you can see I've rubbed out where I didn't want the elbow reaching back too far, so I just wanted it more like resting. So it's just understanding how you want your character to look like, what stance, what body posture do they have, and then just taking across that information from the front view and really thinking about how that would look from the side view. So you can see with the rabbit character, the rabbit toy, I have to really think about the arm, the length of the arms, those 2 legs that are sort of leaning on the ground but slightly splayed out. How would they look if you were to turn and rotate the character 90 degrees to the side? So now we're moving on to drawing the profile of our character's head. Now there's quite a lot of work involved in doing this for the first time, and if you do need to spend a bit more time on this, I do have a class that can walk you through it step by step in far more detail. So you're more than welcome to head over there, or if you've worked it all out, it's just a matter of transferring all of that information onto your character map. So just moving across the eyes, the cheeks, the nose, the mouth. How does it all look from the side view? And use and refer back to that front view and transfer as much information across from that front view to the side view. It really does help. So here I'm working on the hair. I wanted the curly red hair, so I've made quite a big statement with the short curls. And I'm just thinking about the hat. It is tilting away, so I have to think about the angle and what part of the hat would you see and what would be hidden. So you can see how I'm still figuring it out. I'm making a bit of a mess actually, but anyway, I'm using this time to play around with shapes, with sizes, and try to understand what my character looks like from the side. And now I'm going to work my way down the character using a darker line. So I'm just pressing more confidently with my pencil. I can use all the sketching that is underneath as a guide, and I'm just working my way through the shape of the legs, the arms, the torso, the head, and just darkening the areas that I'm more confident about. So here I'm working my way around the toy rabbit and just imagining what parts of the side would you see and what parts are hidden. So just finishing up on my Circus Girl character map, the front and the side view. Now please join me in my next lesson where I'll be showing you how to use this character map to draw your character in many different poses.